What's happening? What's going on, my savages? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Savage Studios. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about what it really is like drinking in prison, consuming that bomb-ass toilet wine, hooch, pruno, and however many little slang words they have for it. And the truth about what really comes with it, getting caught, what comes with it, with your cellies, what comes with it going to yard drunk, and so on and so forth. Drinking in prison. Yeah, you see, I'm drinking today, but your boy's drinking some coffee though. Had to let that prison wine shit go a while back. It's actually pretty hard on your liver. That prison wine will kill you quick. So prison wine is one of the easiest things to make in prison. Everyone learns it. Basically, everyone learns it. You got a lot of people who sit there and manufacture their own shit from there on and pass it down and pass it down. And you see a lot of guys that don't really know what the hell they're doing as far as making it. But it's not rocket science to make a quick batch of some wine. I've seen so many different states do it as well, and people do it differently, and whatever works. One popular thing that people like to do, that I got into doing, was they got these racks of duplex cookies, and it's about a package about this big, 3 rows, and you got like 1 row chocolate, 1 row vanilla, the next row chocolate again, and all you do is scrape the inside, right? Because it's like Oreos. They got the little white cream on the inside, and we would say what, 2 of those, every 2 packages of those would make up a gallon of would be good to burn for a gallon of wine. And you could throw jellies. It's always good. Jellies were always fire because they didn't let us get sugar, obviously. So jellies and syrups and shit. I prefer jellies. But the cookie dough was cool because you just bought a couple packs off store. You didn't have to do all the collecting and saving them up, buying them off the tier, buying them from other inmates. So that was one common way that I used to like to just make quick bomb-ass wine that was just fire. You see, the downside to drinking, that for me, that I've always noticed, and in my experience that I've seen from other people, is there's just a lot of violence that comes with it. You have a lot of people in prison that got a lot of anger up top. They got a lot of rage inside, and I didn't do time with like a lot of petty thieves and criminals and people who were there on drug shit. Everyone I was around was either doing life or had committed some kind of crazy act while in prison. So everyone had a certain level of activity going on with them in a negative way. So when they would drink, it's only common sense that a lot of people are not happy drunks, to say the least. But I've had a lot of happy drunks. I'm a happy drunk myself, but I've also been in cell fights while drunk. So I think there's the violent drunk, and then there's like the thin line. And I think I fall more on the thin line drunk, where I'm pretty much a happy drunk. I'm cool, I'll laugh, I'll clown. But like if I sense that you're trying to come at me foul, or I sense that you're trying to get at me in any kind of way stupid while you're drunk, then I could flip the switch on you pretty quick too. But yeah, I've seen one guy stabbed his cellie 15 times. He was a homie, one of the boys. And he stabbed his cellie 15 times, tried to kill him, didn't kill him. One homie beat his cellie down pretty bad, and he had beat him down with the cup and stuff, and they ended up airlifting him out, and I remember I have one cellie right now. I ain't gonna say his name, but he watches this, and you know who the fuck you are too. We got one of the first times we got drunk when we got back to the hole together. We got into it, but as soon as we was boys, like we was brothers. So as soon as we got into it, we kind of just like laughed it off, hugged it off, and shit. Had to put some tips on your ass real quick. Nah, I was fucking with you. But nah, some real stuff. So you see that runs rampant. is the violence. As well, you know, the time we didn't give a fuck. I didn't. I was maxed out. My celly was maxed out. Everyone else was doing life. We wasn't really tripping. So there would be times. I remember one time they came to do a shakedown, and when they do it in Kern Valley, the doors are, since it's a 180, all doors are electronically controlled. So we got this big batch, and it's just about ready, but we haven't strained it. So what I mean by haven't strained it is it's sitting there with all this shit floating around. You got all the cookie dough shit all sticky. You got all the fucking fruit in there, the kicker floating around and shit that you got to strain out. So they come and it's sitting in our toilet. And you got to understand, our toilets are pretty much cleaner than a lot of your people's sinks in your house are. We keep our shit spick and span, you know, just keep it all buffed out and disinfected as best we can. But so this is how we heat up our batch. We'll sit it in the toilet, run the hot water through a hose from the sink to the toilet. Some hot water, or sometimes we'll even throw like some hot pot water. You know, boil it up, put it in there. But so here they come running in, and the doors are all opening while like 20 or so COs are running in. And the first thing we start doing is say, man, we didn't strain it, but fuck it. We start putting our mugs in there and just start swigging it. Start getting drunk, and all that shit is so bad for you. So by the time the cops get to us, we got all the homies already in the day room sitting on the benches in their boxers and shoes. And they come to us and we're in our boxers and shoes, but we got 2 mugs. We both got a mug apiece, and the rest of the shit is in the toilet. The rest of the bag is in the toilet. So when our door opens, there's about 8 COs in front of us. And they're like, go sit over there on the benches. And we're like, all right, you know, we just mob out. They didn't tell us shit. We mob out with our mugs. You know what I mean? We go sit down on the benches. And we knew we left our batch in the toilet. So we're like, we're already fucking buzzed. So we're like, you know what? Let's get it. Whatever happens, happens. They call all cells to go back. And then when they get to our cell, the cop right there has it in his hand. And he's like, look, just don't act the fucking fool. And he leaves it, puts it back in the toilet. So that was real common, you know, that was a common thing. But when you get to like 270 designs, like the level 4 270s, and you know, you'll see more petty officers, you know, that want to write you up. And that's the sad thing is when they write you up on the alcohol, that's time you don't get back. Not that we care, but for other people, because wine is so prevalent, especially like in level 3s. You have people who sell White Lightning, which is just you know, when you burn off Pruno and sweat it, you know that it's the condensation, the sweat that comes from that is the White Lightning that they sell, and that's like 30, 40, 50 times stronger than Pruno. And they'll go around selling that, or you know, that's how they hustle. You know, people make a hustle selling wine, and then people like myself don't mind. We got so much money, we don't mind paying for it. You know, that's of course when times are good. When times are bad, then you know we make it ourselves. Collect apples, collect your juices, collect jellies, collect. You can make one yourself. It's just gonna take a while. But yeah. So that was always something that I tripped on, is the fact that people couldn't get time back for getting caught with wine. A lot of it's crazy because a lot of like murder and a lot of crime, a lot of activities that have been really violent and shit. A lot of shit happens when people are drunk, and you know that's why there was a rule. It was actually a GP rule, I think, for the Southerners. First and foremost was, you know, you couldn't come to yard drunk. So as a trip being S&Y, when I had been S&Y on the 4-yard, I got to Kern Valley. This was like back in 2012, and I remember the bros were talking about this is when I had already, you know, been there for a while. You know, the bros were like, hey, you know, we got something going on where, you know, none of the bros can come out to yard drunk. And, you know, this was on the S&Y yard. So in order for something like that to stick from GP to S&Y, it's because it's like common sense. When people get drunk, they start shit. And I can't tell you, there's too many, I don't have enough fingers and toes to tell you how many times shit has kicked off over someone being drunk and all of a sudden having beer balls. So beer balls is real. I think my biggest thing that I could tell people going to prison or jail or whatever is just in California, you know, think twice. Think twice if you're hitting the pen, think you're gonna make some wine. If you ain't ready to you know, lose some time and not get it back, you know, don't do it. First and foremost, if you ain't ready to see a different side of your celly or a different side of your homeboy, don't drink with them. And if you ain't comfortable enough with your homeboy, if you guys ain't really that kind of family, then don't drink with them, because the most vicious type of shit happens when people are drunk and they have their inhibitions now lowered. You know, they ain't like me, you know, they ain't drinking this bomb ass coffee. Sipping on the coffee. But yeah, I just wanted to share that shit. You know, people act a fool when they're drunk. I literally one time was so drunk I ran out to yard because I didn't listen to nobody. I ran out to yard and I jumped up at the basketball court and I jumped up and I came down on both my toes and broke them both. Broke two of my middle toes, drunk, and you know, still went on to play handball and shit. But when I came back into the cell, I had two black toes that were like this fat. So yeah, man, that's a quick little update on drinking in prison. Don't do it, and if you do it, be cautious with that shit, because they will bust your ass. And make sure the person you're drinking with you can trust. You guys, if you guys look on the community post, you guys will see that I got this 2016 Challenger. It ain't a Hellcat, it ain't a demon, you know, so you guys can go race someone else, but it's a cool ass fucking car. It's got some speed behind it, it's got some muscle to it, and I'm proud of it and I love it. And you know, the merch drop, make sure to get some merchandise, guys. You know, we got anything from leggings, socks, muscle tees, hoodies, shirts, long sleeves, because you know winter time's coming. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and if you have subscribed, hit that bell notification so you can be notified of when future videos drop. I got a lot of ideas coming up in the woodworks as far as people I may interview and things of that nature. Pretty interesting stuff. I just wanted to kind of talk about something a little more light, because I'm always on some like super heavy political shit, which I like to do and like to discuss, but you know, it doesn't always got to be all super serio. And for people who don't know what serio is, that means serious. All right, guys. Until the next time, stay up, stay safe. Much love, respect. Doses.